is with this movie, Time Changer. This film is in the year 2002. Siguro yung iba hindi pa yata pinapakanak. Kasi 21 years ago na to pinalabas. Pero familiar ba kayo? Hindi. Sige. So I remember this film. The film goes on the character living in 1890. So yung mga tao daw dito is nakatira sila sa 1890 pa. And Russell Carlyle, one of the main character, has written a new manuscript entitled The Changing Time, which promotes good moral without discussing Christ. The book is on track to receive a unanimous endorsement from the board of the Grace Bible Seminary until colleague Dr. Norris, yung kasama daw niya na professor, is nag-object. Sabi niya, ano ba tong script mo? Sabi niya ganon. Sabi niya kasi, Dr. Norris, fearing that Carlyle's book could harm coming generation, arguing that teaching good moral values without mentioning Christ is wrong. Sabi niya ganon. So Norris Anderson, meron siyang actually time machine sa bahay nila. So in-invite niya si Carlyle. Anderson sent Carlyle over 100 years into the future, offering him a glimpse to where his belief will lead. So sabi niya, ayan yung sinabi niya dan, you must see for yourself what happens to the future. Sabi niya gano'n. So nakarating, dahil nasa 1890 sila, nakarating siya ngayon sa 21st century. Carlyle is shocked to find that half of all marriages end in divorce. Teenagers or smaller children talks openly about deceiving their parents. A film or yung mga movies contains blasphemous language, and people who go to church are so bored by the sermon that they need extra activities. So, yung mga tao daw sa church is boring na makinig. Pag walang extra activities, pag hindi maganda yung place, pag walang pagkain, or pag walang pupuntahan after. So, boring na daw yung mga tao doon sa 21st century. So before he returns, bago daw bumalik si Carlyle doon sa panahon nila sa 1890, nagsalita siya doon sa church. Sabi niya, before he returns to his timeline, he guest speaker on the local church and expresses his shock at how godless and wicked the generation has become. Even in the church, reminding everyone that the faith is something to take seriously. So kailangan daw serious. And their soul are in jeopardy if they don't truly commit to Christ. Alam niyo ba yung jeopardy? Parang naliligaw. Naliligaw na, mapapahamak. So, ganun daw yung mga soul kapag hindi tinake ng serious si Christ yung commitment. So, Carlyle is excitedly tells Norris Anderson he will revise the book. So, yung pinasa niya na Changing Time, na nagpo-promote ng good moral, binago niya ngayon. Tapos, ang title na ng book niya is Time Changer. So, doon na sa book, hindi lang good moral yung pinopromote niya, nandun na si Christ. Minention niya na si Christ. So, the movie talks about the danger of knowing good moral in the future without discussing Christ. And we are now living on the 21st century. Alam niyo ba yan? Where danger is at hand, the lies of having a good life without Christ is here. So, sige, mag-pray muna tayo. Aming Diyos, aming Ama na nasa langit, salamat po sa araw na ito na pinagkaloob mo sa amin. Salamat sa katotohanan na Ikaw ang Diyos na nagpapakita kung sino ka. Ikaw ang Diyos na nagpapakilala at nagtuturo sa amin paano mabuhay ng naayon sa iyo. Paano mabuhay ng sumusunod sa iyo, Panginoon. Nawa, O Diyos, ay mangusap ka sa akin, mangusap ka po sa puso ng mga youth, at ipaintindi mo sa amin ang iyong salita upang mas makilala ka namin at mas masamba ka namin na mas malalim. Sa ilong po ang papuri at pasasalamat sa pangalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus. Amen. Ayan. So the movie reminds me a lot of relation of our topic today. Kasi ito ang ating topic. But wala. Living in the light instruction. According to Ephesians 5, verse 15 to 21. Just a background, Paul's letter to church in Ephesians having two major parts. So itong chapter 5 is nahati sa dalawang part. New life in love and submission to one another. So yung una, verse 1 hanggang verse 20, new life. At yung pangalawa, verse 22 hanggang 31 or 32 is submission to one another. Doon pinag-uusapan sa second part yung husband and wife. Yung husband, love your wife, and wife, submit to your husband. So yun. Pero dito muna tayo. Paul's letter is an encouragement for having a new life in love. We will be focusing on first part, last verses, kasi ito yung mga last verses. This specific verse talk about the way how the Christian in Ephesus will live according to Christ, living not on their own way. Sorry, hindi kasi ako marunong mag-clicker. Ayaw. Ayan. Yan. As objective to see that living in the light is not only to have a good life, but how the Lord wants us to see Christ as very essential in this lifetime. Parang yung manuscript ni Carlyle. So first, what is living in the light? Sabi sa dictionary, living in the light, yan, number 1, means walking with boldness. Ibig sabihin, pag pinalitan daw natin yung light is yung nakikita or yung pamumuhay na walang tinatago. Ganun ba tayo? Namumuhay ba tayo na parang pinapakita natin sa lahat? Ayan. Number 2, according to Bible, John 8:12 says, light is Christ. Sabi nga ng Panginoon, di ba? I am the light. So, pag pinalitan natin yung light ng Christ, living with Christ or living with Christ's example. So, living with Christ, living in a right direction, or living in God's way. So, question, what are the instructions to live in the light? So, ano naman yung makikita nating instruction dito sa chapter 5 ng Ephesians? There are 2 instructions. Number 1 is to walk smart. Verse 15 says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Anyways, ang version ko pala is New King James Version. Can you imagine yourself driving or walking on the road with closed eyes? What do you think will happen? Or kahit dyan lang sa baba, na-try nyo na bang tumawid ng nakapikit? Ganyan. Oo. Sige. So, ano yung mangyayari? Merong 3 bagay na mangyayari sa inyo doon kapag naglakad kayo ng nakapikit. Yung mga worst part. Una, is mababangga kayo sa kung saan. Pwedeng sa gitna, pwedeng sa bangketa. Yan. Pangalawa, makaka-bother kayo sa ibang tao. Kasi pag nakita nila kayo, uy, tumatawid ng nakaano. So ngayon, imbis na pauwi na siya, uy, wait lang. Di ba? Tutulungan ka niya. So, nakakaabala sa iba. At pangatlo, o yung worst part, ano mangyayari? Pinaka-worst. Ha? Hindi. Ang worst part na mangyayari is, mamamatay tayo. Or mamamatay kayo. Kasi dahil sa aksidente ay, yun ang pinaka-worst. So, Paul teaching Ephesus na kapag daw nabubuhay sila is maging observant. Or tingnan nyo yung nilalakaran nyo. Hindi kayo, basta diretso lang. Hindi yung, ay dito ako pupunta, sige, basta bahala na, punta na lang ako dito. Hindi daw ganon. So dapat circumspectly or hindi lang nag-observe, kundi prepared tayo. So, ganun din ang tinuturo sa atin ng Panginoon. The Lord is teaching us not only to be observant, but to prepare in our walk. So, bago tayo lumakad, bago tayo tumawid, diba? Titingnan muna natin, may dumadaan ba? Ay, wala, pwede na. Diba? Mas kaya yung nakapikit ka, bahala na kung ano yung ano. Diba? Mas nakakatakot. So, ang paglakad daw sa buhay natin is, kailangan nakikita natin yung nilalakaran. Paul teaching Ephesus that they need to have a clear and changed mind to live or walk in love. So ito kasi is paano tayo paano mag-walk as smarter, kasi pwede ka naman mag-walk nga ng bara-bara lang. Pero as a smart is makikita mo yung paligid. Number 2, to work smart. Ay, magkaiba pala yun, Kuya Eric. Naman, verse 16 says, redeeming the time because days are evil. Parang di naman, kuya. There's a lot of development and improvement or innovation sa panahon natin ngayon. Naniniwala ba kayo doon? in line, halimbawa in line of communication. Noon, ang mga friend mo, or hindi kaya yung